I have no idea how this is gonna go. Bag video. I'm traveling in about 10 minutes, so my bag is filled with mainly non-discs, but it's in the bag anyway. So first up, we've got Senseis, because who doesn't love a Sensei? They're very grassy. I did play yesterday. A lot of disc golf. But yeah, Senseis, putters, extremely good. What I'm traveling with, because that might be interesting to some people, I have got 5 discs. First one, Watermelon Buzz, very cool. I chuck it as hard as I can and it goes like 70 meters sometimes. Dead straight, fade at the end. Cool. A zone, because who doesn't love a good zone? I use this for approaches mainly and putting into an extreme headwind. I forehand this disc a lot, but I don't use it a lot off the tee. For driving, I have a wave. This is a normal weight wave instead of a lightweight one, so 173. I picked this up like 2 weeks ago, and honestly, it's just the best. It's so good. It does exactly what I want it to. Yeah, I love this disc. It will come everywhere with me. I found an FD in OB in the weekend. It's kind of hard to find, but it throws really, really well. Perfect for hyzer shots. It has a lot of fade in at the end, but if you throw it flat, it'll still fade, but just a little bit less. But on hyzer, it'll go long and glide and then come in. Can recommend if you're looking for a mid-range. I mean, it's a 7, so it's a fairway driver, but it does a lot of gliding. Also new disc, thanks to Sean, MVP Tesla, as a forehand disc, so I'm in 2 minds about this. It's between this and a Stahl, which is what I've been bagging a lot at the moment. So they're practically the same disc. Some people would argue otherwise, but they behave quite similarly. This one's more flippy, the Stahl is more flippy, and so I'm more confident with it, because if I shank it, it'll still kind of do exactly what I want, but if I shank this, it won't. So yeah, so this is what I'm traveling with, just to learn it a lot more. This is what I typically bag for tournament. In terms of other things that I have been bagging, I've got the pile, which I've removed from my bag. So I bag a passion depending on what I'm after. This one's flippy, this one's not. Yeah, I love a passion. It's my 80 meter disc. I throw it basically not as hard as I want, but like 80%, and it'll go 80 meters extremely reliably. So I love that about this disc. It's very predictable as long as you keep it low, flat, and yeah, it's great. I haven't been bagging this, it's just cool. I bag a beast in a similar lightweight wave. They do about the same thing. The beast is flippier because it's a lot lighter weight and it's more domey. The wave is a lot flatter, and I like the feel of the plastic a lot more. So I'm more confident with it. But if I want flippy or super uphill, then I will throw a beast. But I alternate between these two depending on what I actually want. Everyone knows my favorite is a Soul for like very precise turnover shots, get out of jail free cards basically when you're stuck in the bush and you want to anhyzer somewhere. It's also really good for anhyzer putting, which I've recently learned. But yeah, I love the Soul. This one's flippy. I have another one which is not flippy, so it's a lot harder to do anhyzer shots, but yeah, this one's really good. The rest of my MVP collection, I have an Entropy, which is a lot like a Zone. It's just a lot more overstable. It's got a deeper rim on the inside, and it's a lot sharper on the edge to hold, so it's a lot better for approach shots, but it does have a lot of fade at the end. Like it will always, like if you're forehanding it, it will always fade to the right, but I use it a lot for backhand approaches. Actually, you can aim 2 or 3 meters to the right of the basket and it will reliably land underneath it from about 40 meters away. A very popular fairway driver apparently at the moment, a relay, MVP relay. I love this disc. I mean, there's not a lot that I bag that I don't love, but this one's just really good for 50 meters, 60 meters, 70 meters, anything that's slightly shorter than my passion or what zone would do. Like I would probably throw a relay. Now I'm bagging the FD. I probably should decide which one to use, but this one's flippier. This one will is more understable, so it'll turn over, and it's got less slide, so we'll have to see. This is a new disc. Don't know if I'm going to keep it in the bag. It's a Volt. It's very good for forehanding, but again, like I don't really need it. I've got a zone and I've got a FD and I've got the Stoll and Tesla now, so I don't know if I really need it, but it looked pretty and is nice, so I bought it. If I had a full MVP bag, like this would be somewhere in there. This is a distance forehand, which is a photon, or a very good backhand into the wind, which I also use a Grace for. But yeah, photon forehanding mainly. The Grace is my backhand distance driver in full wind. Because it's slightly heavier, I can't throw it as well. So I really have to like put a lot of heat into it as opposed to the wave, which is a lot easier. But I can throw this into a headwind and I know exactly what it's going to do, which is the exact opposite of what people who can actually throw Graces do, because Graces are meant to turn in the wind, but they don't. So yeah, put it on a little bit of hyzer into the wind and it'll fade in. Beautiful. Love it. Love a good Grace. And the last disc that I bag at the moment is AKAHU, which is the 4th ever disc that I owned. It's really good for wind, basically. It's just a just-in-case disc that I bag. I probably don't need it, but it's just nice to have that option in case I feel like I need a forehand that's less flippy. Like I've been throwing this disc a long time, so I know exactly what it's going to do, but like the photon and other discs I have bagged a lot less time, so I have this. Some honorable mentions in this pile next to me. I've got an Uplink, which is kind of like a Soul. It's extremely unstable. Honestly, very fun to throw. I love throwing this thing. I don't bag it because I don't really have a lot of opportunities to throw it in tournament, but in practice rounds I do tend to take it out with me. I also have had a reactor. It's lost somewhere in Palmerston North, so if anyone sees a pink reactor with shiny things on it, it's probably mine. I think there was only one. It's a special edition one. Really sad to have lost it, but it's what happens when you throw discs. Honorable mentions include my old Senseis. A River, which I have been bagging up until literally the last tournament. I think it's just really ironic. I use it for water carries because it's called a river and I don't really use it for anything else. Also a picker, which I don't bag, but sometimes I will bag depending on how confident I feel flipping over my beast or my lightweight wave. That's where this guy comes in. This is a lightweight picker, so if you're sensing a theme, I love a good lightweight disc. And yeah, last honorable mention is a Valkyrie, which doesn't really have a place in my bag, but it's really good to throw. So yeah, that's me. Hope everyone has a good weekend of throwing. I will probably not be throwing discs, although I am taking something else in with me, so enjoy.